time for your midday fix of facts and spicy sides.
From breaking headlines to backroom whispers.
All served hot and fresh. Hello there, I'm Monique, Tuzon.
I'm Ferdi Salvador. Glad to have you with us.
And I'm Paolo de Rosario, standing in for Mai Rodriguez. This is the Daily Dish.
You're
And
not
he
supposed
changed
to
his
say
voice.
he changed it.
I
You got
changed
scared.
it. No, I did not. I was
No,
going
his voice was
to...
different too.
Of course. I was channeling my inner Mai,
So,
right?
Paolo was supposed to say standing in for Tita,
Tita
Mai
Mai, Auntie Mai.
Rodriguez.
No, I
Auntie Mai.
was going to say, Tita Mai, get better soon.
Yeah, feel better.
We hope to see you
Yes, feel
tomorrow,
better.
diba? That's
Yes.
what we're actually looking for. But of course, with Mai Rodriguez, we normally talk about the serious things as
Yes.
well. So
Yes.
we're later on for the news, we're gonna have the BSP inflation forecast, a bit of an update on that, and of course, a bit of an update as well on the trade war between President Trump and Xi Jinping in a
Yes.
meeting over in Korea. So a lot of people, a lot of businessmen especially,
A lot of people-
watching out for that.
1,000% because it's going to affect the whole world,
Yes.
whatever happens there. And by the way, on entertainment news, congratulations to Cornerstone on your 20th year anniversary. Erickson Raimundo, you rock, and your whole team. Jeff, Cynthia, and of course, Mac Merla.
Congrats. Well, and in other news, Sam Milby, he's a Cornerstone artist. He
Yeah.
said he had LADA, which is a latent autoimmune diabetes. It's
Wow.
a type 1.5 diabetes that happens in adulthood, and it starts in the pancreas. So
I hope he's better.
I hope
Yeah.
he's
I saw
okay.
him
We'll pray
last
for
night,
him.
and he's looking pretty okay.
Yeah. The other thing that we are going to be featuring later on is that you went around a lot recently. I mean,
Every day he was somewhere.
I've been around the block.
you've been around the block.
Just a little bit.
Fashion shows and all that. What do you have in store?
Well, I had an amazing conversation with Patis Tesoro.
Yeah.
She has a fashion show coming up next week. But more than that, I got a glimpse of her personality and what she's all about. And we're going to be featuring her. And of course, Francis Libier's SB19 Fast Zone concert fashion show
How was that?
off the hook.
Yeah, you called me. He
I
video
called
called
you. I
me
was like,
during that,
"Hey."
and I was in Japan.
You were in
It looked
Japan
fun.
getting engaged, and it was so much fun. The whole Araneta Coliseum was packed to the brim. It was a great day. And of course, I saw our brother here, Mateo G.
Yes, he was
Also
there.
doing his surprise report that
Because his
night.
wifey was there.
Well, yes, Sarah G was
Supporting,
there.
yeah.
Actually, she's now Sarah G.G.
Oh, yeah, actually,
Geronimo
Sarah Gigi.
Guigelli.
That's
Sarah
true.
G squared.
Sarah G squared.
But today we also have Kim Cruz, who's a young artist who has lots of exhibitions everywhere, and plus she's Nadine Lustra's best friend, and they have a collab coming up. So we'll talk more about that later when we have her on the show. But
Yes.
Pao, we have a lot.
Yes, we do have a lot. Those stories and more coming up. But first, the headlines. Today's headlines. The Bureau of Customs stops an attempt to smuggle fake products worth millions of pesos just as the holiday season draws near. Meanwhile, Senator and former Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Rodante Marcoleta denies getting involved in the forged notarized affidavit of witness Orly Guteza in connection to the flood control scandal. A creative turns to the power of art to help spark social change. Visual artist Kim Cruz will join us live. From art to fashion, catch our conversations with fashion luminaries Patis Tesoro and Francis Libira. The Bureau of Customs foiled an attempt to smuggle millions of pesos worth of counterfeit products, reinforcing the government's drive to curb the entry of fake goods into the country. Now, this as the holiday season approaches. Andrea Salve is on the line with more details. Go ahead, Andrea.
The Bureau of Customs has seized counterfeit apparel worth 482 million pesos. The shipment, which arrived at the port of Manila in August from Bangladesh and was shipped through Singapore to evade customs profiling, was declared as socks. Customs officials ordered a full inspection on October 9 following intelligence reports of possible misdeclaration and intellectual property rights violations. Authorities discovered 1,287 boxes of counterfeit branded clothing, each item with an estimated market value 2,500 pesos. The goods bore trademarks of well-known international and local brands, including Jag, Lacoste, Burberry, Champion, Jordan, Levi's, Oakley, Calvin Klein, and Off-White, among others. A warrant of seizure and detention was issued on October 28 for violations of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act and the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. The counterfeit goods are now subject to condemnation, while the BOC is preparing criminal charges against those involved. Assistant Commissioner Vincent Marunilla said the seizure demonstrates the agency's continuing resolve to ensure that only legitimate goods enter the Philippine market. Marunilla stressed that the sale and distribution of counterfeit products not only deceive consumers but also harm honest businesses that comply with the law. Whether the products will be destroyed or distributed to calamity victims, Marunilla stated that the decision will depend on the brands involved. Back to you.
Thank you so much. That was Andrea Salve with that report. The Bangko Sentral just released its October inflation forecast, with consumer goods potentially driving up prices. Paolo Barcelon is on the line for the details. Paolo, what do you have for us?
Hi, Paolo. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas says inflation for October may range from 1.4 to 2.2%, slightly lower than last month's 1.5 to 2.3% forecast. The central bank says this may be due to rising costs of rice, fish, vegetables, and electricity, as well as a weaker peso versus the dollar. However, the BSP adds that lower prices of oil, meat, and fruits can help offset inflation effects. The Bangko Sentral also says it will continue to monitor local and international developments that can affect inflation and economic growth. The Philippine Statistics Authority is set to release inflation numbers by the 5th of November, followed by the Labor Force Survey on November 6th. Back to you, Paolo.
Thank you so much. That's Paolo Barcelon reporting. Now, surprise! That is the reaction of Senator Rodante Marcoleta to being linked to Orly Gutierrez's forged notarized affidavit. Now, speaking on BNC's The Spokes, Marcoleta said he does not see why he is being implicated, when it all boils down to the credibility of those behind the document.
If we can at least waste our precious time discussing this, you will have to believe and assume that Gutesa has the power to go to one office, get the notarial stamp of whoever is notarizing there, secure the dry seal, and then look for the last entry of the book of the notarial register or the registry para makuha mo yung document number, the page number, and the book number, and then sasainan ni Gutesa. Are we able to assume all this, that Gutesa has the capacity to do all this by himself?
If you recall, Marcoleta presented Gutesa as a surprise witness during the September 25 Senate Blue Ribbon hearing, where he said he delivered suitcases filled with cash to the homes of late Representative and former Speaker Martin Romualdez and former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co. He also states Gutesa has nothing to gain from testifying against both and actually risks his life and his family's safety. Marcoleta adds the most important thing is to go after the mastermind behind the corruption and not just the small fries or the accessories. The Philippine Navy, meanwhile, has released a statement on Gutesa. The Navy says he retired in 2020 and is no longer under their administrative duty. The statement adds Gutesa is not under the protection of the Philippine Marine Corps and are not involved in his personal affairs. Still on that topic, Senate witness and retired soldier Orly Gutierrez is currently with the Marines. Now, that's according to former Congressman Mike Defensor, who introduced Gutierrez to Senator Rodante Marcoleta. Defensor also admits to Bilyonaryo news channel's On Point that he helped craft Gutierrez's affidavit, which a Manila court found to have been falsified. He claims the lawyer who supposedly signed the sworn statement was merely pressured to disown it.
Who do you think is behind this?
Yung mga binanggit niyang pangalan. Well, of course, si Congressman Saldico, I'm sorry, kaibigan ko siya, pero ito para sa bansa to. Ito mangyari, napakamali. And siyempre, si Speaker Martin Romualdez. Pangalawa, as I've said, pagka lumalim ang investigasyon nila doon sa mga taong involved. Kasi may sinabi Sergeant Gutesa, sabi niya, Sir, every week may nagdi-deliver ng pera. So iniipon yun, binibilang, tapos nagdi-deliver kami. Almost 3 times a week, may group chat kami. So ang tanong ko sa kanya, saan nanggagaling yung perang yun? At ano yun? Sabi niya, sir, hindi ko po alam. And he only mentioned at the time, Congressman Eric Yap. Kasi daw nagulat siya, 45 luggages having 48 million each.
The Fedzar also insists Gutierrez's testimony before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is still valid. He is confident the witness will attend the panel's hearing should he be invited again.
Kung ano man yung mga pagkakamali doon sa notaryo, yun naman ay nagamot na ng si Sergeant Gutesa ay nagpunta ng Senado at nagkaroon ng under oath statement. But before they first investigate the substance of what Gutesa said, which is basically consistently lumalabas na kumukuha sila ng pera through Mark Texay and Paul Estrada, mula doon sa pera yun na dinideliver sa Valle Verde, nire-repack nila, dinideliver nila sa Horizon, sa bahay ni Saldico, which is yung palang Valle Verde, bahay din ni Saldico, at mula sa bahay sa Horizon, sa Shangri-La, dinideliver nila kay Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kasama din dito yung 90 mga sundalo. Dapat ipatawag din nyo to ng Blue Ribbon Committee na totoo ba to?
Moving on, the Bangsamoro Transition Authority remains the legitimate governing body of the BARM. That's according to the Office of the President after the Supreme Court postponed the Bangsamoro elections again to March of next year. The polls were supposed to take place October 13th prior to the High Court's decision. The palace says the BTA can still perform its authority since no election took place in the extended transition period. Current members remain in office until further notice. Now, the Miss Earth 2025 hopefuls rolled up their sleeves for a hands-on lesson in marine conservation today, joining the Philippine Coast Guard to remove waste from the Dolomite Beach. Pierre Pastor is live from Manila to tell us more. Go ahead, Pierre.
Yes, Paolo. Miss Earth 2025 candidates joined the Philippine Coast Guard for a coastal cleanup here at the Dolomite Beach area earlier this morning. The ladies were able to help retrieve plastics and some household garbage along the beach. Miss Cuba says she's happy to help because she grew up at the Caribbean and she knows the importance of cleaning the coastline. Her focus is to eliminate microplastics in the ocean, which are ingested by sea creatures like fish, and they are consumed by humans. This poses danger to health. She also emphasized the importance of working together to save the planet. Miss Iceland, on the other hand, says she's proud to be part of what she calls a small contribution like cleaning the beach, but definitely will make a big difference. The coastal cleanup is a weekly regular activity of the Marine Environmental Offshore Patrol to maintain cleanliness in the area. It so happened that the Miss Earth organizers coordinated with the PCG to help with the cleanup today. PCG Captain Lisa Bell Villanueva said they are thankful for the help of the Miss Earth, which will raise awareness of environment protection. PCG's next move is to go around coastal communities to educate residents of the importance of preserving the marine environment. Right after the cleanup, the Miss Earth candidates proceeded to the PCG headquarters for a courtesy call with the PCG officials. The ladies were presented audiovisual presentations of PCG's marine conservation efforts.
Marine environmental protection is a shared responsibility. Yes, hindi po yan kaya ng Coast Guard lang. At kami ay natutuwa na nag-visit yung Miss Earth candidates who are advocating the same.
It also is something that I hold dear because in my country we also have the same appreciation for our coast. I advocate for the restoration of mangroves, and I noticed that the Philippine Coast Guard also does that. So it is something that I have admired from them, and I hope to be able to take some of what I've learned today to my Coast Guard in Belize.
Paolo, the candidates has done several environmental activities already, like tree planting in Laguna and donating seedlings to some schools, and have worked with the environmental department. And now they're preparing for the pageant itself, which is happening on November 5. Paolo?
Thank you so much for that report. That's Pierre Pastor reporting live from Manila. Now moving on to world news, President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping are meeting in South Korea to revive a fragile trade truce between the world's two largest economies. Talks come amid the renewed tensions after China moved to restrict exports of rare earth minerals crucial to high-tech industries. Washington threatened higher tariffs in response. U.S. officials say Beijing may delay those controls and resume soybean imports, seen as a sign of progress. Trump also wants China to help stop the flow of fentanyl chemicals fueling U.S. overdose deaths. The talks unfold as earlier trade deals near expiry and tensions rise over Taiwan, where Chinese bombers recently held drills. Both sides say they're aiming for positive results. Now, two men have been arrested over the jewel heist at the Louvre Museum, but the stolen treasures are still missing. Prosecutors say the suspects have partly admitted involvement in the October 19 robbery, where four masked thieves broke into the Apollo Gallery and stole 8 jewels worth about $102 million. DNA evidence led to the arrest. One suspect caught trying to flee to Algeria, the other already under investigation for theft. Investigators say more people may be involved. The 6-minute heist exposed major security lapses, forcing the Louvre to move its remaining jewels to a secure location.
Ayala Redemption Tour continues at the Hong Kong Open. The women's world number 51 will next face world number 23, Victoria Mboko of Canada, in the round of 16 today. Alex previously defeated Katie Boulter via retirement to enter the next round. The Rafa Nadal Academy graduate is looking to bounce back in her Asian tour after suffering consecutive first-round exits in China and in Japan. Meanwhile, in the NBA, make it back-to-back wins for the Houston Rockets. The Rockets take down the Toronto Raptors in Canada 139-121. Kevin Durant was too good and too much, scoring 31 points to lead H-Town to its second straight victory. 6 other Rocket players scored in double figures. Houston is 10th in the West and at 2-2.
Las Vegas just got a little more stylish. Madame Tussauds unveils a new wax figure of pop superstar Harry Styles. The lifelike statue recreates his 2023 Brit Awards look: red sequin bolero, high-waisted pants, and those signature black heels. It took 20 artists 9 months to perfect the pop star's likeness, strand by strand. Vegas joins a global lineup of 7 Harrys worldwide, proving that singer's star power is anything but artificial. From pop stage to policy stage, BTS leader RM addressed the APEC CEO Summit in South Korea, calling for more creative unity across cultures. RM told global leaders the group rise helps shift how the world views Korean culture and said breaking barriers fuels creativity.
K-pop success didn't happen because one single culture was better. K-pop success came from respecting diversity and embracing world cultures, but still holding on to Korea's unique identity. I'd like to see this creative flow of culture happen everywhere around the world. And the Asia-Pacific region has incredible, dynamic cultural diversity. K-pop's shining success is proof that cultural diversity and creativity are the greatest human potential. A force with no borders, no limit to growth.
His speech marked the first time a K-pop star has ever addressed the APEC summit, showing music's power to move more than just charts. And of course, Mo was gushing over RM.
No, I just said I love him. I think he's so adorable, and that I like that he's doing stuff like this outside of the music industry, right,
Yeah,
Pao?
absolutely. I mean, it's not the first time that BTS has spoken out and tried to address world leaders. If I'm not mistaken, they also addressed the world leaders at the UN in
UN
New York.
summit too, yeah.
So and RM was the one talking, and fantastic
this is
English.
second
Yeah,
right?
he sounds so great. That's why I was like, oh, go RM.
Yep.
But I'm actually so excited for their album that they're working on for 2026. It's coming out in the spring.
The whole world is excited for that.
But they're currently in LA. They're working on their album, they said, quote, from far away. So I'm excited.
Monique knows everything about K-Park. Anyway, coming up, Monique and Paolo will speak with visual artist Kim Cruz and her various advocacies. The Daily Dish will be right back.
Hello, welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish. A visual artist is using her talent not only to express herself,
but to help make art a tool for social change. And joining us now is Kim Cruz, the founder of Kalma Art Foundation. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
thanks for flying in. Literally,
Yeah.
she just flew in, so she's still jet lagged all the way from Lisbon.
We actually invited her from Lisbon,
Yeah.
and she said, okay, I'm on my way to Manila.
Yes,
Yeah, literally.
definitely.
For
Like,
sure.
Yes.
All right. So you are a visual artist and relatively recent, if I'm not mistaken, because I think you started around 2019.
Yeah, I
give or take.
started pandemic. So my first show is when I was 5 years ago. Professionally, only 4 years.
And that's crazy because you're 26 now.
27.
27 now.
Yeah. I mean, at such a young age, you were self-taught, right? So how did you find your creative process, and what would you say your technique would be?
I think I just started painting at a young age, and I tried everything. I was one of those kids in class who was drawing
Yeah.
while the lesson was going on, and it's not great. But it's also, I think for me, it was my way to kind of release and cope with a lot of things when I was a teenager, of course. And then my parents were always collectors of art, so I grew up around a lot of artworks, and I think that inspired me when I was growing up to paint more. And I just love doing it. It was something I was really passionate about and happy to do.
You know, it's great you found your passion so early, and it's nice to know that, you know, doodling in like high school, you know, just
Pays off now.
Yeah, no.
I wish my doodle paid off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it landed her in Ateneo, unfortunately. But of course,
What a hater.
the Lasallian in me is still feeling the UAP season. But Kim, I mean, the themes that you actually ended up adopting, when you started out, it felt like there was a bit of a leaning towards sports at one point.
Yeah, at one point.
You actually worked for ESPN Philippines
Yes.
at one point, and now you're all about the femininity. It's about the figures of women, but
Yes.
not sexually.
Yes.
It's really soft and vulnerable, and it feels different. Why are you taking this approach?
I think for me, when you're starting art at such a young age, you're also kind of growing into a person and a woman separately. And I went through a lot of shifts in those past years, like the 5 years, I would say, in my early 20s. There were a lot of shifts because I was doing TV in the Philippines and I was based here, and then I started traveling more often. So of course that changes who you are as a person. And I was in LA at such a young age also, and when you go there from Manila and you're so comfortable here, there's a lot of changes with how I perceive life and a lot of things, like even my career. And one thing that I always came back to was art. So when I was younger, I was into sports, you know, I enjoyed doing it, but then eventually I just came back to what really mattered to me, which is going back to the foundation work and dealing with women. And I just loved painting women because I could connect with the people and the subjects more. And there's something so serene about it as well. Like, I love depicting women in a way that it's soft, it's feminine, but also there's duality. That's why I use a lot of different figures in my art, because it kind of shows that there's different layers to being a woman, and there's a lot of different layers in art. And I think my art's very personal in a sense where I just paint, like, let's say I have a session with with people. I kind of, I don't really come up there and I have sketches already made. I just really paint intuitively, and I think that's what I love about art. Yeah.
No, Kim, actually walk us through your process. So for example, you have one in Paris coming up, an exhibition with Nadine Lustre. So for those artwork pieces, how long does it typically take you? Walk us through your creative process.
Yeah, actually the show is with Nadine here, but then the Paris is my first solo exhibition in Europe. So it's more conceptual in a way. It's going to be with a gallery in Le Marais, which is one of my favorite areas in Paris. So I think it's amazing to be able to do that now, because I'm still young, so I'm still experimenting with my work, and being able to have a platform to do my own show and kind of give my own ideas to the show. So the one in Paris is going to be really more personal for me. The past 5 years I've done more works with group exhibitions, and I did a few solo shows, but nothing as conceptual as the one that's coming up soon. So a little bit of like a sneak peek would be I'd have an installation. My first installation is going to be there in Paris. So it's going to be very personal, but I think it's kind of a peek into my process. Like you said, it's always personal for me. I always come in the studio, or I always come in when I paint, and I paint when I travel. I paint with the women I meet, especially through the foundation, and I paint with different women in the studio. Sometimes it's live, sometimes I take photos, and I keep archives of these sketches. And yeah, I just basically put out works that I think inspire me personally as an artist, and people resonate with that, and that's
you know, we mentioned the foundation multiple times already, Kalma, and when we talk about what got you into supporting all of these trafficked children, abused children, people who do need help, or for a very big chunk of them really have their childhoods just taken away from them. Where did it start? Like, what was, the spark that really made you go for this passion?
When I was doing hosting, actually, I started doing volunteer work, and my family, they're in an orphanage in India because my grandparents were missionaries. So at a young age, I was traveling to India, and I'd be exposed to that kind of environment. So I think when you're really young and you're exposed to these kind of things that are happening around the world, it really changes a lot of things in you, because you kind of learn how to be more empathetic towards them once you kind of interact with them. And at a young age, I think that's what I value the most, is when you're exposed to the realities of the world, and when you're given a platform as well. I figured I was doing volunteer work when I was 17 here in the Philippines, and we'd go to public schools and we'd teach, kind of give awareness to what human trafficking is, and what the situation is in the Philippines, and give kind of light to how women are being abused, children are being abused. And when you're 17 and you're a student and you're hearing all these stories and you're interacting with people, it really makes you want to do something. And so I started doing art therapy lessons for kids, because that's what I was passionate about. So we'd go to the orphanages, and I work with Called to Rescue Philippines. It's a foundation that they can rescue the kids basically from trafficking or abuse, and they're put into shelters, and you give them therapy and help, and then you kind of give them a second chance to start over. And that's what I started doing at a young age. So Kalma started with that because it's more of an extension of what I was doing from that kind of work, and because I would meet kids who were 2-3 years old, and they were going through like the process of recovering from abuse, and these kids don't really know how to express themselves. They don't really know how to talk about their traumas, and art, like, is, for me when I was younger at least, was a little bit, I couldn't compare, but like when I don't know how it would be, but then for me it's a release to be able to just be myself and talk to people and interact. And we had such good feedback from teaching the kids, giving them tools to just paint, giving them creativity to just draw, and that's what they love to do. And I think it really inspired me to pursue art therapy. So I studied a little bit of it, And yeah, we came up with Kalma, which is going to provinces. We'd go to public schools. I teach in some schools here in Manila as well to give awareness as to how art is important in healing.
I love what you're doing, especially with art therapy for the kids. How has that impacted the children and the women that you've worked with? Has there been a particular story that really stuck with you?
Yeah, I always say the story whenever I'm asked this question, but in the orphanage that we work with, there's this girl, she's 3 years old, and she was sold by her own parents in the streets of Manila, and she was really, really young. She didn't really like to interact with the other kids. She was very shy. She didn't like to speak. And at 3 years old, of course, you're supposed to be, you know, like interacting with other kids and having fun and playing. But then she was one of my first students, and she drew me a heart on a piece of paper, and she gave it to me, and she was like pointing to her heart, and she said, like, she wasn't speaking, but she was pointing to me. And I still think about that moment until today, because for me, I was like, it was her first time actually interacting with an adult, like adults in that sense. And the owner of, and the one who runs the orphanage talked to me and said, I think this is her first time really being comfortable with other kids, so maybe you can try to do this more often. We would love if you can come and kind of give them that space to be just drawing and being creative and not having to do these talks. Because I think when you're young and you don't know really how to talk about what you're going through, and art is a great tool to be able to just be more comfortable with other children. So that really stuck to me.
It's like you're teaching them how to express in general things that they have no idea how
to talk about.
Yeah. So when we talk about that, your particular advocacies, you have many. Kalma being, it feels like the most personal one for you, considering your experiences. So when we look at the direction you plan to take it, you're obviously globetrotting right now. Is this a message that you feel resonates worldwide?
I think that's what I love about the foundation, is it makes me come back home. So I think it's a way for me to still connect to my roots despite being away. And I think it's amazing because I'm able to travel to places that I've never been to in the Philippines as well, and interacting with kids from, you know, like in the middle of, let's say, a jungle, or the middle of, you know, these little schools where art is really not as accessible to them. And I love doing that. And I think being exposed to the world and kind of traveling more often, it leads you back home more. So that's one thing that I realized as I grew older and as I lived in different places. I appreciate the culture more. Like, I crave Filipino food. You know, I learned to make my own food because it's not accessible where I am, as accessible as when I'm here. Or there's certain things in my culture aspects that I start to appreciate more often because when you travel, it's not really the same.
So my next question there is, how good is your Filipino cooking now?
Not amazing.
There you go.
Getting her by.
I wanted to know more about that. But then at the same time, we're running a bit out of time here, so we're going to try and be a bit quicker with this. If I'm not mistaken, you're one of your mentors is actually a famous local artist here. And can you tell us a bit more about how he influenced you as well?
I think I have a lot of mentors as well in different aspects of my life. Like, let's say the foundation, and like different artists have taught me in this sense. So I really would love to, in the future, work with more artists, because I think that's what I learned, is to be a sponge and just absorb everything that I'm learning from different kinds of people. And as an artist, I think you're influenced a lot by, you just learn small things from different artists that you meet, and I think that's amazing.
Do you have a dream collab or artist you want to work with moving forward?
I have a lot of dream collabs.
No, you have to give us some, because this show, this network,
He always says this.
we make dreams come true.
No, literally, when like pageant girls join, they win.
They win.
Really?
And like,
Right?
we had Abby Marquez here. She said Gordon Ramsay was her dream collab.
And
And she
Ramsay.
did.
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay, So
I mean,
give us two so we can manifest it.
Yes.
okay.
Anybody, local or international?
I think one of the artists that I grew up with, seeing her work a lot in my house, is Lydia Velasco. So she's a female artist from the Philippines, and actually met her already. And I came up to her and I said, "You're one of my biggest inspirations." And we spoke a little bit about art. So I would love to eventually, hopefully, one day work with her.
She's probably watching our show,
Oh,
so there you go.
We're gonna send it to her.
Yeah.
All right. And second?
maybe Jenny Saville, if I want to go far, like
Yeah.
go crazy. She's a figurative artist from the UK, and she's one of my biggest inspirations.
Oh, I can't wait for those collabs.
All right. So before we start to wrap things up, people I'm sure are interested in Kalma a bit more. How can they find out more about it?
Well, we have a website, of course, and then we always post. We're actually now open to more volunteers, and we're opening to some spaces like events, because we got a lot of questions about how they can volunteer with Kalma and how they can also come to teach. So we have that. I, of course, also have my art platforms and the shows that I have coming up, and some events with Kalma would be one of them.
And any upcoming exhibits here in the
I
Philippines that
do.
we can go
So
to?
this November 20, this is why I'm actually here in town, is we're doing a collab exhibit. He's a photographer from Lisbon. Also my boyfriend. We're
Wait, sorry. Did you whisper that? Did you just whisper? Okay.
We're doing a collab show on November 20. It's Nadine Lucia, one of my best friends. She's the muse for this. So we're really excited I would love collaborating with my friends, and I love collaborating with the people in my life. And this is happening on November 20. And then of course, I have the solo show in Paris with Galerie Wang Billy in Le Marais on January 20. That begins. And I'm really nervous and really excited for that. And then I have another show the week after in January. So I come home after that for Lakbay 2026.
You
with
are
Art
busy,
House.
girl. We can't wait to see your
I'm
exhibition.
very excited.
She's
Thank you so
nervous.
much.
We're so excited for her.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah, and hello to her photographer friend,
Boyfriend.
who should be collaborating with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, visual artist Kim Cruz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now from art to fashion, catch our conversation with icons Patis Tesoro and Francis Leviran after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish. She has stood the test of time. I had the chance to interview fashion icon Patis Tesoro and her legacy in this ever-changing industry. Watch this. Nobody does it better than Patis Tesoro when it comes to elegant Filipiniana. Tesoro's mastery of piña and hand-woven abaca has made her a pillar of Philippine fashion. The Daily Dish visited Patis Tesoro's 3-acre home in Laguna, a peaceful retreat where she lives surrounded by nature. It is also home to her acclaimed creations that have stood the test of time. I am with the Philippines' iconic fashion designer, sometimes labeled as the Grand Dame of Philippine fashion, the one and only Patis Tesoro. Tita Patis, this is such a privilege. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, in this beautiful sanctuary of yours in San Pablo. I was going to ask you, do you like the title, the Grand Dame of Philippine fashion?
Not really.
Why?
Well, as I said before, I think of when you say Grand Dame, somebody coming out of some castle or some fancy party and
Yes.
wearing to the nines. No, I'm not that. I'm more bohemian. I'm more easygoing person.
Yes.
That's a little bit crazy.
I like that. So that, again, we're gonna coin you. Now I'm gonna change it to the Philippines enfant terrible of fashion. You've been in the fashion world for a very short time. 4 decades, 5 decades.
More than 5 decades.
Over 5 decades, Tesoro has pushed the boundaries of style. But she admits that earlier on, forging her path wasn't easy. Because of your artistic nature. Yeah, yes. Why were they worried?
Well, during the time I was born, which was just 5 years after the war, our parents, if you were an artist or going to be an artist, it was a no-no. You won't earn money, you'll be poor for the rest of your life, you know, that sort of thing. And so my parents were worried that I was turning out that way because at that time you became a doctor, a nurse, you know, or a lawyer, all of those necessary but boring Yeah.
No insult meant to anybody, but she doesn't like it. Okay?
Necessary,
Yes.
necessary. At the end, I married a lawyer.
Okay. How ironic was that?
Well, he had to become a lawyer. Yeah, because his mother said if you want to marry her, you have to become a lawyer. And as a true Filipino son,
Yes.
he said, yes, okay, I'll become a lawyer.
But you married into retail.
I married into the Tesoro family
Yes.
that ran Filipino retail.
Yes. So
Yeah.
wasn't that amazing? Because your fashion obviously is deeply, deeply rooted in Philippine historical fashion.
Yes, yes.
And that being said, it was a perfect match in the artistic endeavor as well.
Yeah, I was a bit avant-garde though.
Her designs are not just a showcase of heritage and runway ready. They are wearable art, practical for our climate, and rooted in centuries-old traditions.
When I create with Filipino women in my mind, men and women, in the environment. We cannot wear woolen clothes, for example.
When you come up with a certain fabric, right? What about your silhouettes? What's the Patis Tesoro silhouette?
Wearable.
Okay.
It should be fit everybody, not just sexy Miss Philippines or something like
Yes.
that. Though that's not bad.
Tesoro is ready to prove once more why she's an icon in Philippine fashion. After a long wait, she finally gets to present her latest collection, Filipiniana is Forever, on November 4 in Taguig. She says it's more than just about the styles and trends.
Our Filipiniana is forever. We as a people have to remain Filipino in the sense of food, environment, and dress. If we lose that, we become some nameless country. And today, fashion is changing because of what's happening to our environment. It's almost necessary. The fashion industry has contributed to the determinant of the environment. I mean, all these millions of throwaway clothes.
Tesoro says she's still as driven as ever to create the finest clothes the way she knows how.
I think it's just the wheel of creativity. You know, I'm always interested in history and how society shapes in my world fashion. Yeah, it's all about society and how it changes.
Yes.
And the change in this society today is very fast-paced. We don't have the time anymore to dress up the whole day, to dress up, but you can still dress up beautifully.
She's also talked about the constant need to improve, even after all these years.
Do you think that you're going to be presenting more shows using our fabrics in the next couple of years?
As God wills, no? Yeah,
No, the people wills it.
as God wills, because I am in my 70s and I'll go on for as long as I can go on. And I love the development of new ways of doing clothing. I love not only the challenge, but how it has morphed.
I see the twinkle in your eye when you see it's the kill.
From wearable art to culture advocacy, Patis Tesoro continues to set the standard for Philippine fashion, proving that true artistry is timeless.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
a quick chat with us.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to more shows with the Infanterie of Philippine fashion.
I like that.
Yes, we have coined it, okay? We have
Okay.
hashtag that.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank
and the
you.
Patis Tesoro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was Patis Tesoro, folks. You know what? I could have spoken to her for days. And I hope I can do a mini documentary on her. She's super, super engaging and interesting.
I want to meet her.
And they were, okay, Monique,
She's an
how did you like
icon.
my outfit? That's my
I was
Patis
about to
Tesoro.
say, I'm obsessed with your quilted jacket.
Actually,
it
it's a
looks good
shirt.
on you. Oh.
It's part of their it's part of their show. Actually, it wasn't
Are you
finished.
going to be one of their models in November?
No, I don't have the abs. As you can see, I was very round in my interview.
No,
It was just the clothes, right? There was just a lot of round in it.
Yeah.
Not you.
So my face resonated. But folks, from one fashion luminary to another, the concert stage transforms into a runway for Francis Libion's stunning creations. The acclaimed designer joins forces once again with SB19 for a sold-out of Night of Music, Style, and Spectacle. Check this out. They've conquered the music world and he's conquered the fashion world. I am at the Araneta Coliseum tonight to witness a collaboration like no other. Fashion and music. Tonight, they're going to be celebrating their 7th year anniversary with Fast Zone, with SB19 and Francis Liberian colliding and making sure that tonight's fashion concert show is an amazing one. Let's watch this.
I'm so used to haute couture, gowns, and thinking of something like streetwear or something that's out of my comfort zone, it was a challenge for me. But I enjoyed every process and every challenge that went along with it.
With a wealth of talent he could have featured in this momentous event, Francis Liberian was spoiled for choice. But P-Pop King's SB19 was his only choice.
When I think of SB19, they're like very identified with P-Pop, Filipino pop, and of course, they're number one. When it comes to their segments, I have to sit down with them and really learn their music, understand what their inspiration around the music is. So it really is a collaboration between me and the boys.
This great show was a collaborative effort, and Francis Liberian says that those involved in production were united in making sure it was a memorable one for everyone.
While collaborating with that one, of course, we have different teams to collaborate with. The director for fashion is Ariel Lozada. The director for music is Paolo Valenciano. And my business partner, RC Baltazar, who's in the music industry. And every time we meet, it's something we're in. We wanted to create something different that the audience haven't seen yet. And that's the output tonight.
And as with all great art, Francis Liberian says he wants the audience to go home moved by the perfect marriage of fashion, music, and culture.
I want the audience to see that we're Filipinos. We have our own identity, They need to know what we have through this fashion show. And through SB19's talent and music, I want them to mesh things together so that fashion and music comes together. And it's such a powerful thing.
Liberian also spoke about what it took to create the looks for the show, whether he had a favorite, and the experience of working with SB19.
I think, oh my gosh, 150 for the models, I think 80 for the dancers, and 20 for the boys. So medyo nasiraan ako ng bayan. You know what? It's so hard for me to identify a favorite because each and every group is very meaningful for me. That's why I cannot say the other one is better than the other because each one is a different process. Hindi mahirap because they know what they want. When I talk to them, when I collaborate with them, I really sit down, each and every one, and I would always ask, what do you want? And that for me makes my work very easy. Alam kasi nila yung mga gusto nila eh. They're very certain about what works for them. That's why it's very easy. It's like a formula that they know what they want. Diba? Parang, kung magkakaroon man ng experimental, I think it's something that it's trendy, but pinag-uusapan namin, pero again, the collaboration makes it really nice and big.
Liberian and SB19 have a history of working together, and fans, of course, want to know if this relationship will continue.
Siguro in 1 year. Kasi medyo, as much as we were able to do something brilliant and great through the brilliant minds, you know. Hindi lang naman ako ito eh. It's the collaboration between an artist, a brilliant artist that is SB19, a very grateful director, Paolo Valenciano, Ariel Losada, and my business partner, RC Baltazar. It's really something that we need to collaborate, and syempre hindi mahirap to come up with something that's spectacular.
Well, thank God we had a moment there with Francis because you could not hear people talk because people were screaming. It was intense.
I feel like the whole Manila was there.
The whole Philippines was there.
It looked like such a party.
Thousands
That's a
of
great
people.
show, though.
And
Great
I look
package.
thinner there.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he wanted to bet.
That's why I wanted to batter. I look thinner there. Just wanted to say.
Yeah, just to peel back the curtain. Say, hey, you want to talk about the
No.
story? And Ferdi was like, yes, I do. No, payat ka, no?
Anyway, more stories coming up. The Daily Dish will be right back. Is it bird of it? TikTok is flocking to the bird theory, a trend where pointing out a bird becomes a mini relationship exam. This is giving me anxiety. Experts say it's not just for laughs, it's based on bids or birds for connection. Small gestures that reveal how attentive your partner really is. Ignore the bird, red flag. Get excited, green flag. Millions of couples are testing reactions, sparking giggles, side eyes, and occasional squawks. Who knew a tiny feathered friend could reveal so much about trust, attention, and just how much your partner actually notices or does not? Folks, what do you think about this?
First time hearing it, you know, the
interesting.
bird theory.
They're laughing off cam, but
Yeah. No, but really, I'm really curious. Like, I don't know, Mo, would you try that?
I don't know.
No, I mean, would you try that right now?
Probably not. I don't know.
we have to find a bird first.
No, the thing is, there doesn't have to be a bird. Just point at it. Like, look, it's a bird. I think.
There, he tried it.
He tried.
No, you tried
tried.
it.
Okay,
You
easy effort.
gotta try it, right?
Yeah, okay, we'll let you
Young
do that,
kids
Pao Pao.
nowadays and their birds.
I know. Me and Ferdi, the young kids. Anyway, guys, tomorrow.
Yes.
You don't really see them, but sometimes you may just do. Catch paranormal expert Rob Rubin tomorrow for some spooky chat.
Kala ko, we're gonna look for birds also. But you can see them also.
Kala ko
eh.
ikaw yung
Phantom
spooky
birds.
chat tomorrow.
Phantom birds.
Yes, Pao.
All right, so we have only 56 days till Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, I hope you're all ready.
Are you ready?
Season.
Are you ready?
Now, well, we're gonna see. But that's it for us today, Thursday, October 30. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
A lot of spilled tea.
With zero filter, I'm Monique Tuzon. Anytime is a good time because it's always more fun with us.
I'm Ferdi Salvador, always on top of the news and stories that matter most.
Thanks for making us your lunchtime companion. I'm Paolo de Rosario, sticking in for Tita Maya Rodriguez. That's the Daily Dish. Sir.
Let's look for birds.